I'm Grace Torrey, and you're listening to That Girl the Podcast. Grab a beverage of choice and settle in, because the new episode is starting now. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl, Grace Torrey, and I'm back with a whole new podcast episode. It is currently Sunday, and I'm really excited for today's episode because we are going to be talking about setting yourself up for success when nothing feels like it's working. I've been there. I've admitted defeat. I've felt like giving up. You guys know through my podcast episodes, I feel like you've really been able to see a play-by-play of my feelings and motivation towards working. We've gone from super motivated to I'm giving up, you're giving up, we should all give up, to refinding what makes you happy, changing your course, all of those things. And now I feel like it's kind of full circle because we're going to be talking about setting yourself up for success, things that have worked for me when I felt like nothing has worked. So I'm really excited to kind of have this moment where we get back on track, we talk about something a little more positive, and hopefully help you get the success you are looking for. I definitely want to know if this works for you, so it should, but obviously everyone's different. Definitely DM me on Instagram at thatgirlthepod and let me know what you implemented and how long it kind of took to see a shift. So I'm super excited. Before we jump into that though, it's literally 7 super easy tips. We first have to talk about a life update. I think I've been forgetting to do life updates in most of my episodes recently, and I haven't really had much to report on because a lot of it's behind the scenes and I can't really talk about it. But I did have a pretty good weekend, so I guess I'll share a little bit of that with you guys. I ended up touring barns because I'm moving my horse to a new barn. I have decided to move her to a barn where they can use her for lessons, and then she's going to be able to be working with kids like 5-6 days a week, and then I'll still ride her once a week. So I'm really excited for that. I think that she will get a little bit more excitement from that. She'll be more in shape, she won't be as bored, and I think it's a really good decision for both of us, and I'm excited to be doing that. So I was touring barns, and then Saturday night I went out with friends, so last night, and that was really fun. I definitely needed it. I have to remind myself sometimes that I am only 24 because I act a lot older than I am. I think that I put a lot more responsibility on myself than I truly have, and I kind of have the weight on my shoulders. So it's really hard for me to step out of that mindset and say, hey, you're in your early 20s still, like, you are never going to have this much freedom in your life again, and just do the quote-unquote irresponsible thing sometimes, or just go out and be a little feral. Obviously, I didn't do anything like too feral. I'm dating Josh. We're good. Our relationship is going really well. Not that like that's a huge point. Like it never was going bad. But I still went out and had fun, and it was kind of like a girls' night, and it was really cool. The audacity of some men though, like I obviously had to tell quite a few no because I'm in a relationship and I wasn't gonna like entertain them. And the stories I have, you guys, just from telling someone no, specifically a man no, insane. So maybe I'll share those another time. We can do a whole episode on men having the audacity, because I have not gone out or been in the dating world for literal years, so I kind of have been sheltered from the monstrosity that has become the male species these days. So that was a little bit of a shock to me that they are just, obviously I'm not generalizing all men, but the ones that I spoke to last night were just so tragic, and rude and objectifying, and yeah, but other than that, I didn't let it ruin my night, and it was a really good night. So I don't want to like end on that note. It was still really, really fun, and we got cookout after, which is my favorite, and I got to see my friend I haven't seen in a while, so I really did enjoy it. And then the last little update is today we had a good day. Josh and I went thrift shopping. We went to the farmer's market and got some veggies, and then I got to hold our snake. I still have never held our snake because it's technically Josh's snake, and he let me hold him today, which I really enjoyed because he needed it. He needs to be socialized more, and Josh keeps saying he'll do it and he doesn't. So now that he kind of taught me how to do it, I can socialize him more, and then we can have a fun little dude. So that's pretty much it for life updates. I don't think I'm missing anything. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into the video. So like I mentioned, we are going to be talking about cultivating a space/environment where you can become successful and laying that foundation where you can just grow any success or any goals, all of those things that you are hoping to achieve. Before I jump in real quick, don't forget to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're on to join the community of girlies working to become the best version of ourselves. We would love to have you. It's a good time and it's super fun and fresh. So, step 1 is throw away your non-negotiables, quote unquote, and ask yourself what is actually getting in the way. I think that this was a big game changer for me because there were a lot of things that I was like not willing to, one, admit was getting in the way of my success in most areas of my life, and two, have make the changes for, set the boundaries with. When I say non-negotiables, let me give you some examples. So a big one is family, whether that's the time you're giving your family, the way they're treating you and building your self-esteem, the way you respond to them, the responsibilities that you have regarding your family. Also, friends, think about the 5 closest people to you. Are they lifting you up? Are they pushing you to meet these goals? Are they allowing you time for self-care and self-love? Are they draining all of your energy? Are they giving you energy? These are all questions to ask yourself. And then, of course, another really big non-negotiable that people tend to overlook is yourself. So, how are you treating yourself? What is the boundaries you set for yourself? What does your self-discipline look like? What are you eating? You're taking care of your body, all aspects of the wellness wheel. These are all questions to ask yourself because it's probably something that you've said is a non-negotiable. Like for me, there were certain non-negotiables like after work, I have to go hang out with my dogs. But then I realized I was coming home and laying down and watching TV with my dogs when I could be going on walks with them. Or I could wait a couple hours and then go to the gym and still have a couple hours that I'm hanging out with them, but also taking care of myself in the process. Like, there's certain things that you say are non-negotiable, and maybe it was a non-negotiable 2 years ago, and then you didn't ever reevaluate it, and now is the time to do that. So that is the very first thing I did, is look at every single big aspect, anxiety, responsibility in my life that I have made a non-negotiable or something I'm not willing to change to be successful, and ask myself why, how it's impacting my success, and what I can do to fix that. So number 2 is reevaluate how you're spending your time. So like I mentioned, for me, I spend a lot of time laying in bed, not only because I want to hang out with the dogs, but because I have no energy. So I recently made a commitment to start going to the doctor to figure out what's wrong with me, which has been insane. I've had like 6 doctor's appointments in like 3 months. Exercising more, which I was not really taking care of my body in that sense. And having a much better diet. This has obviously impacted my energy, which made me want to get out of bed more and do more things. So sometimes the problem is more deeper than a face value solution. Like, if I have no energy, I need to figure out why I have no energy. And then once I do that, I'm going to be able to get out of bed more. Like, obviously, it would be much more simple for me to say, all right, you're going to get out of bed more. And then make it a self-discipline issue or, like, blame myself for being lazy. But sometimes that's just not the case, and you have to do a little bit more digging. But I promise you, when you take the time to do that, it's going to be life-changing. Like, me taking the time to do that has put me in a much better mood. I feel more fulfilled. I feel more disciplined. My self-esteem is higher because I don't feel like I'm lazy, like I'm validated in the fact that there is something wrong with me. And obviously, I feel better about doing things because I am taking care of myself. Number 3 is have the hard conversations. So, like I mentioned, those non-negotiables, those may come with some hard conversations. You also know where your obstacles are and where you need help. So have those conversations with yourself and others, even if they're hard. Stop putting them off. Stop putting that thing off that you want to accomplish that you haven't been able to because you have to go talk to this person, or you have to be honest with yourself about what you can do and what you can't do. There are things that can be fixed by just doing the hard thing, and I know you want to put it off forever, but you're delaying your success so much by doing that. So just have the conversation. The next is creative problem solving. Reevaluate where you have the space to change things and do it. So an example of this is Moondance, my horse. She is going to be a lesson pony. One of the perks of being a lesson pony is that you don't have to pay as much for their rent, and sometimes it's even free. So right now I'm paying like $4.15 a month for her to live at a farm and only get ridden when I make the time to go out there. So a way that I'm solving that, and I'm taking care of her health better by getting her exercise, as well as financially helping myself out a little bit by having that large chunk being taken out of bills for me. That's a creative solution to a problem. It's probably not something that would be like the first thing to come to mind. It definitely wasn't, but the more I kind of thought about what would be best for her, the more I realized that's definitely an option, and in fact, it's probably exactly what she needs. So creative problem solving is just looking at one or many problems you have and finding a unique way to go at them. And then you can focus on your success more because you're less stressed about that. Like, Moondance has been a huge stress in my life since I went to college because I want to ride her more, I want to exercise her, I want her to be healthy and happy, but it's hard when I have all these things on my plate. So giving her the ability to be ridden by someone else and work with someone else, which is something she enjoys, gives me the freedom to not feel like I'm the worst person on the planet if I can't make it out to see her. Also, it gives me a little bit more financial freedom, which we all know we need in this economy. So that is solving multiple issues and anxieties with one creative solution. Number 5 is plan more and worry less. So plan your days, plan what needs to get done, and worry less about things going wrong. However, leave room for spontaneity. I realized that I have been so accustomed to planning that I literally had panic attacks over the slightest bit of spontaneity, or change that happened, and it was becoming like a very, very mental thing for me that was having a lot of effects on my day-to-day life. So I had to step back and say, you know what? Things are going to happen that you can't control, and you're just going to have to accept it. And an exercise that I've been doing to allow this is letting Josh pick more things. I am the type of person where he is very laid back, so I usually pick what we do, what we eat, how often we're there, everything in between, like 99% of the time. But in a way that I've been like exercising that going with the flow muscle is I have been letting him pick what we do, where we eat, how we feel. And I think that it honestly has helped our relationship a lot. I don't want to get too much into like relationship therapy, but I really think it has been very helpful because it kind of gives him more freedom to contribute, whereas before I was just like making all of the decisions. And it gives me the ability to kind of sit in the passenger seat and not be so stressed and responsible and just allow him to make the decisions and take care of me. So it's been really nice. But I usually do that on the weekends. On his off day, I let him make the decisions, like today, going thrift shopping and to the farmer's market and things like that. That all started because he wanted to go to the mall, and then we saw the farmer's market when we were driving home, and we drove past our favorite thrift store, and we were like, hey, let's go here. So none of it was planned, and it was a really beautiful, really good day. Number 6 is stop caring. And I know I say this every time, but you seriously ask yourself what you would do if anxiety wasn't a thing. And are you really going to let fear keep you from your goal? These are big questions that I ask myself when I start to think about what everyone thinks of me, because 99% of the time it does not matter, and that's just anxiety making assumptions about what they think, and truly it's not even true. So truly it's not even true. Excellent grammar there. But I'm just I don't know. Just stop caring, because are you really gonna let someone on your Instagram are you really going to let someone on your Instagram follower list hold you back from being successful because you're afraid of what they're going to think about something that you post or something that you do or a life path that you decide to go down? No, that's silly. Prove them wrong, honestly. If they think anything bad about you, just prove them wrong. And I was talking about this on my TikTok today, but what people think about you is honestly none of your business, especially if you've never met them or they've never had a conversation with you, especially about the thing that they don't like you because of. Like, that is none of your business because they've never taken the time to even talk to you about it. It's literally a personal problem at that point, like their personal problem, and it falls on them. So don't sweat it. It has nothing to do with you. It's not your problem. It's theirs, truly. So number 7, and the last one, is remember that if you want to achieve something that most people don't, you have to move differently than most. So most people are probably not going to understand why you do certain things because they're going to be different than what the majority of people are doing. And that's totally okay. They don't have to understand. It's honestly no one's business but your own. So say as little or as much as you want. I've really started saying much less about my day-to-day and decisions I'm making because I know what's best for me, whereas other people may think that they know what's best for me, but it's not. They only know what I've told them about my life and my situation. So of course, go to people with questions if you want advice, but take it with a grain of salt because most people, even those that you love most in your life, are probably not going to understand why you're doing certain things to make certain decisions unless they went through it recently when the situations were similar. So it's gonna feel lonely. I'm not gonna lie to you. If it's a big goal that you're trying to reach and it's very unusual or not mainstream, it's gonna feel lonely because there's not gonna be that many people that are able to support you, but it's worth it. Like, I just want to encourage you that it's going to be worth it. And if you ever need someone to talk to about it, definitely go to That Girl the Pod on Instagram and DM me. I'm happy to talk about literally anything with you. I'm happy to just say hi. I'm happy to, just talk about the weather, whatever you want to do. But if you feel lonely and you feel like you need someone to give you advice, I may not have experience in what you are going through, but I will give you my unbiased opinion 110%. So I really hope that you don't feel alone and you feel like you do have me. With that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. It was really, I think, a beautiful full circle moment considering all the things that these past couple months have been, and I definitely still have a lot of room to grow and a lot of room for improvement, but I'm glad that I was able to kind of come to this realization and be able to share this information with you. Like I mentioned, don't forget to follow me on That Girl the Pod on Instagram and TikTok, as well as follow on whatever platform you're listening or watching on right now. I upload every single Wednesday and Sunday. If you're watching this on Sunday night, I hope you have a great night. If you're watching this on any other day, I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, or night. I will see you guys in my next podcast episode. Love you. Bye.